Okay, good evening. I'm going to call to order the November 13th, 2025 regular meeting. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Marissa, can we have the roll call, please?
President Ruffing?
Here.
Vice President Anzier?
Here.
Commissioner Balakrishna?
Here.
Commissioner Jacks?
Here.
Commissioner Janner?
Here.
Commissioner Risvold?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
All right, we are now going to move into our Truth and Taxation public hearing. I would entertain a motion to open the Truth and Taxation public hearing on the district's proposed 2025 property tax levy.
Move to open the public hearing for discussion on the 2025 property tax levy.
Second.
And that's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I will now call to order the public hearing on the 2025 property tax levy. A notice of this Truth and Taxation hearing was published in the Daily Herald and was posted on the Park District's website on November 5th, 2025, in accordance with the requirements of the Property Tax Code. Property tax revenues represent the largest revenue source for the district and funds about 57% of the district's budget. This year, the district is proposing a levy totaling $30,188,210, which is a 5% increase over last year's extension. The district's tax levy request will increase to account for inflationary pressures on the cost of operating the district, to provide for rising inclusion service costs and ADA capital-related improvements, and for outstanding debt. The CPI percent applicable to this year's tax levy under PTELL is 2.9%, and the balance is necessary to account for new construction. If the estimated new construction does not materialize, the DuPage and Will County clerks will automatically reduce the levy to the appropriate level. The purpose of the hearing is to give the public an opportunity to be heard with regard to the planned 2025 property tax levy request. Once public comments have been received, the board may immediately comment or reserve its comments to when the ordinance is formally presented for board consideration. The hearing is now open to questions and comments from the audience. And I will now allow comments from anyone on the board. Thank you. I would now entertain a motion to close the Truth and Taxation public hearing on the 2025 tax levy and return to the regular business of the meeting.
Move to close the public hearing and return to the regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, Marissa, do we have any matters from the public in general?
We do not.
Okay. We will move right into updates and reports, starting with Riverwalk. The Riverwalk Planning, Design, and Construction Committee met on November 4th. The meeting focused on reviewing the results of the Grand Pavilion Survey and our continued review of the 2031 Master Plan. The Riverwalk Commission as a whole did not meet this month. The next Riverwalk Commission meeting is scheduled for December 10th at 7:30 a.m. at the Municipal Center. And just real quick, I'm sure many have heard or seen, I know all staff has, that the Eagle Street Gateway is now open and it looks beautiful. If you have not seen it, I would encourage you to stop by, and there will be a celebration tomorrow afternoon. Next is Finance, and there is no report, and so moving on to Legislative.
No report.
Moving on to Parks and Rec.
All right, the Parks and Rec Committee met today, November 13th at 5:45 before the main meeting. We went over several updates, including 2 proposals from Art Forum, and then an update on the Commissioner's Challenge, and then updates from the various departments, and some of those updates included some of the holiday special events that are happening over the next few weeks, and also our staff's participation in the upcoming IAPD IRPA conference in January.
Thank you so much. All right, up next is the board president's report. So Park District board members and staff have spent this fall gathering community feedback on the potential 2026 referendum. Through 5 open houses, we've had the opportunity to speak directly with more than 170 residents, and to date, we've received nearly 7,000 responses to the public opinion survey. Your feedback matters, as it will help shape the decisions we make moving forward and ensure that future projects reflect the priorities of our community. The deadline to complete the survey is November 15th, and I encourage everyone to take a few moments to share your thoughts with us before then. I do want to extend my sincere thanks to all the residents who have taken the time to engage with us throughout this process. Your input is at the heart of our planning efforts and will guide us in making choices that best serve our community for years to come. And then, as I like to do, I do have 2 milestone staff anniversaries to celebrate. Superintendent of Golf Grounds Reed Newman is celebrating 10 years with us, and then Park Specialist 2 Ben Palzinski is also celebrating 10 years with us. So thank you to them for their service. And now I will pass it over to Executive Director Brad Wilson.
Thank you, President Ruffing. As the holiday season draws near, the Naperville Park District provides several different opportunities for residents to give back to their fellow community members. Through November 21st, we are accepting monetary donations of any amount to support the annual Pennies for Pies campaign. This initiative helps fund the purchase of pumpkin pies for Loaves and Fishes Community Services Thanksgiving Dinner Initiative to support residents in need. Donations are accepted online or at several Park District locations. The Toys for Tots campaign is in progress and continuing through Saturday, December 13th. Our park police are spearheading the campaign and asking for donations of new unwrapped toys for area children. Donations can be dropped off at several different Park District facilities and at WONC's radio station at Oliver Hall, located on the North Central College's campus. Naperville seniors and families in need are invited to share a festive meal with one another at the Community Christmas Luncheon on Christmas Eve. This long-standing event is co-hosted by the Fry Family YMCA and the Naperville Park District and is entirely funded through generous donations from community members. Learn more about this event and donate at napervilleparks.org/donate. Lastly, in recognition of Giving Tuesday on December 2nd, the Park District encourages the community to donate to our fee assistance program to help residents in need enjoy the benefits of recreation programs and experiences. Support your neighbors in need by giving the gift of recreation this Giving Tuesday and any day via the Park District's website. If the recent temperatures are any indication, winter is on the way, and so is winter seasonal programming. The Winter 2026 Digital Program Guide will be available on the Park District's website beginning Wednesday, December 3rd. The winter edition will feature information on a variety of programs for the coming months, including winter break camps, spring break camps, and spring soccer. Winter program registration kicks off on Monday, December 8th at 8:30 a.m. And to close out the 2025 Brooks Tournament Series, Springbrook and Naperbrook golf courses will host the annual Turkey Shoot Tournament the weekend before Thanksgiving. A registration lottery will be held this Saturday, November 15th at Naperbrook to determine the field of participants. Visit golfnaperville.org for details. And lastly, over the past week, 1,500 American flags were displayed at Rotary Hill to honor military veterans, active service members, and their families as part of the Naperville Healing Field of Honor. In addition, the Vietnam Wall of Remembrance returned to honor and recognize those who served and sacrificed their lives in the Vietnam War. The Naperville Park District was honored to partner with Operation Support Our Troops America, Naperville Response for Veterans, Naperville American Legion Post 43, Judd Kendall VFW Post 3873, and several community members, volunteers, and local businesses to host this moving tribute. We are extremely grateful to all who have served or are currently serving in the military. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. Additional information on our programs, events, and facilities and other Park District news can be found at napervilleparks.org. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, up next is the 2026 budget presentation.
Okay, this evening we will go through our annual budget presentation for the 2026 budget. Before we begin, I just want to thank all the department directors, their staff who have been involved in putting this budget together. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and it's almost like a year-long process, really beginning with that 3-year financial plan that we develop in the spring and present earlier in the year to the board for approval, and then working from that, beginning to develop the budget and the year-end estimates over the course of the summer. So thank you to all the department directors and staff for all the work that's gone into it. So to get started, we'll review a few of the guides that we look at. So I mentioned before the 3-year financial plan that we review and is a big part of beginning to develop the budget. Working from that, we also look at various goals for the coming year. And so as we look at 2026 budget guides, the implementation and execution of goals in the 2026 and 2028 strategic plan, that's something that we will be meeting on with the board in coming weeks to develop and finalize those goals for that strategic plan. A big goal for us next year will be achieving CAPRA and ILEAP reaccreditations. CAPRA for the district as a whole, and then ILEAP for our park police operations. Continuing to implement the recommendations from the indoor recreation space, the needs assessment that we work from. Continuing to strengthen the workforce through our recruitment and retention of staff, both at the full-time as well as the part-time levels. And then continuing to engage the community through an informational initiative for a potential referendum in the spring. And I know that, as President Ruffing mentioned, quite a bit of work has gone into this fall gathering feedback from residents. We encourage them to complete the survey over the next couple days if they've not done so already. And that's going to help with making some decisions as to how we move forward and where we're at as far as a referendum for next year. So as we look at 2025, it was another very strong year for program participation with the district. We're estimating that we will end the year with about 61,000 program registrants that register for the various programs. That does not include all of the participants that participate in drop-in activities or special events that occur throughout the course of the year. These are the registrations for those structured programs that are offered through our program guide. At Springbrook and Naperville, we are on track to match our record from 2024 with about 93,000 rounds that are going to be played there. As Director Carlson mentioned during our Parks and Recreation Committee meeting, the weather here in the next few days, anytime the weather warms up a bit, especially this time of year, the courses just fill with golfers who are interested in playing. Fort Hill Activity Center continues to grow, and this has been a common theme that we've seen over the years since opening this facility in 2016, and then coming out of the pandemic. We have seen tremendous growth with this facility. Nearly or over 9,000 Fort Hill Fitness members that are now part of the facility. When we look at a comparison to 2024, we're seeing fitness center use that's up by 19%, personal training up by 28%, our group exercise by 13%, and track use up 23%. And then we also are seeing continued growth within inclusion services and the need for inclusion services within programs. Year over year, I believe we saw a 10% growth between the 23-24 year as well as the 24-25 year through WDSRA inclusion registrations. This past summer, WDSRA continued to see growth in all the member districts. So we are one of 9 member districts that comprise WDSRA. They saw 4% growth with inclusion registrations just this past summer. And as they look back at the past 3 years, there's been a growth of 65% over the last 3 years for those inclusion services. So quite a bit of need that is out there within those programs. We are honored to partner with many different organizations in this community to be able to benefit the community through various projects and various initiatives and events. Some notable ones from this past year as we look at the murals at the Rothermel Family Skate Facility, that partnership with Max's Mission, which we recently celebrated the completion of the murals. There's an intergovernmental agreement that the board will actually consider this evening with Naperville Community Unit School District 203 for the 2 synthetic turf fields at Naperville North High School, which will provide us with additional programming space for many of the athletic programs that we provide. Our partnership with DuPage County Stormwater Management, we completed the final project earlier this year with the Riverwalk DuPage River Shoreline Stabilization, and that's been growing in very nicely. A great enhancement to the Riverwalk towards the west end. The Healing Field of Honor that I mentioned in my update in partnering with Operation Support Our Troops and Naperville Response for Veterans as well as those other organizations. The various initiatives that we support to support community needs. The Loaves and Fishes, not only the Pennies for Pies program that we're doing now, but I believe Director Coates mentioned in one of the recent updates all of the produce and vegetables that's donated through the Garden Plots program and the gleaning that happens at the end of the year. Our Memory Cafe and Caregivers Support Groups, we are actively involved with Dementia Friendly Naperville, a program through the Naperville Senior Task Force, and we host those here at the Fort Hill Activity Center as well as at the Alfred Rubin Riverwalk Community Center. In addition to those two programs, we are also offer dementia-friendly movies to support the community there. And then lastly, the DuPage River Trail. We're excited about this project. It's an intergovernmental agreement between the Forest Preserve District of Will County, the Naperville Park District, City of Naperville, and Bolingbrook Park District to make a trail connection at Weber Road and DuPage River Park. As we look at the budget each year, we like to really look at the value that we provide to the residents of the community. This year we were excited to bring on 2 new parks with Polo Club Park and Fairlane Farms Park that were recently opened and dedicated. That brings us to 78 playgrounds throughout the community that we provide. As we look at our programs and teams that we offer through the district, we have over 8,000 different teams and programs and classes that take place each year. And then as you can see, just a number of other areas, 76 ball fields, 68 multi-use fields, the 18 dedicated pickleball courts that we have outdoors, in addition to the pickleball courts that we make available here in the gymnasium. And then just a wide variety of facilities between our golf courses, this facility, the Fort Hill Activity Center, Centennial Beach, the trap shooting facility, a number of different recreational experiences and unique experiences that are available through the Park District that you don't necessarily find in a lot of communities around in the area. And I'll turn it over to Director Dubiel.
Thank you. Good evening. The total proposed budget is $55.2 million. Which is allocated across 3 components: operating, capital, and debt. The largest portion is the operating budget at $37.5 million, which covers day-to-day operations, recreational services and programs, maintenance of the parks and facilities, and really most of what we do. Capital is set at $14 million to complete renovations and continuous improvements of the assets. Debt service is set at $3 million to pay down outstanding obligations. Now, the district's 2 main revenue sources are property tax and charges for services. Property tax is the largest source of funding, making up 57% of revenue. This funding is valued and appreciated, and great consideration goes into ensuring that these dollars are spent carefully. Charges for services, the second largest source of revenue, accounting for 29% of it. This includes memberships, user fees, daily admissions, green fees, and programming fees. Together, these 2 sources make up the majority of our funding at 86% for this upcoming budget year. The Naperville Park District represents about 5% of a resident's property tax bill. We are estimating, on average, a Park District resident will pay approximately $458 in taxes for a home that has an assessed value of $515,000. Whenever we talk about the impact to a homeowner or how much a homeowner will pay, it is important to keep in mind this is only an estimate, and the tax bills for our residents will vary based on the assessed value of their home. So with that in mind, we are calculating an estimated increase of $17 for the average taxpayer over what they're paying in 2025. That increase is based on a home that is valued at $470,000 last year. The $17 estimated increase is in alignment with the 3-year plan. When breaking down the $17 into the levy components, it results in about $12 for operations and capital improvements, $4 for special recreation, which goes towards dues, inclusion, and ADA improvements, 63 cents for debt service, and a penny for the supplemental debt service levy. The supplemental debt service levy will complete the financing plan for the 2020 bond series. This financing plan was determined when structuring that series, which anticipated capturing future capacity in the debt service extension base to pay off those bonds. The growth in the debt service extension base over the past few years has allowed for the financing plan to be completed with 2 supplemental levies. The board approved the first supplemental levy in 2024 and will be presented with the final supplemental levy of approximately $68,000 at the December meeting. The Special Recreation Levy provides funding for the Western DuPage Special Rec Association, known as WDSRA, for dues, inclusion services, and for ADA capital improvements. This year, the levy is approximately 3 cents, which is slightly higher than last year's at 2.89 cents. Each year, our team gets together and determines how much is needed to cover the anticipated costs of inclusion services and scheduled ADA improvements. It's been the district's practice to only levy what is needed. We have been seeing a rise in inclusion costs, as Brad had talked about, as there has been an increase in the number of participants with inclusion needs, and an increase for competitive wages needed by WDSRA to attract and retain hard-to-fill inclusion aid positions. Being a non-home rule entity, there are 2 sets of limits on the tax levy: a rate limit that sets a maximum limit on particular levy items like the special recreation levy, and a tax cap, which limits the total dollar increase of our operating and capital levy components, which we'll talk about next. The special recreation levy has a rate limit of 4 cents, and the proposed 3 cents levy is lower than that rate limit. For the operating and capital component of the levy, our team continues to see cost increases for many of the basic supplies and contractual services we use in our organization, including landscaping, park maintenance supplies, equipment, technology contracts, and insurance. As you can see here on this slide, some of the increases are listed, like plants and flowers at 8%, garbage bags, gloves, janitorial supplies, which are ranging from 4 to 10%, tech contracts at 5%, health insurance at about 11%, and business and liability insurance averaging 12%. The pace at which costs are increasing is more than the growth that we are able to capture in our largest source of revenue, which is the property tax levy. The growth in the operating and capital portion of this levy is limited by the tax cap law, which has been set at 2.9% CPI for the 2026 budget year. As we incorporate these increasing costs into the 2026 budget, which are outpacing the allowable growth in the property tax levy, our team continues to find ways to do things more efficiently and manage costs within the operating budget. For example, the use of technology, such as autonomous mowers, as well as the new computerized maintenance management software. That technology assists with efficiencies in maintaining our parks and our facilities. Another example is how our district is managing the increasing costs of health insurance. Employees provided input through a survey, and a cross-functional insurance benefits committee was formed, which included staff across the organization. This resulted in adding a third plan option called the BCO. It maintains benefit levels at a lower premium with a tiered network of providers. The plan comes with lower premiums for the district and contributions for employees who choose to participate in the plan. It's truly a balancing act as we focus on keeping program very affordable while delivering quality services. Charges for services is the second largest funding source for the district at 29% of revenue. Next, we'll take a look at what has been proposed in the 2026 budget for programs and facilities. At Centennial Beach, we are proposing to hold fees stable to maintain affordability. As the budget is put together, our team continues to prioritize the safety of our patrons. This past summer, we once again received and exceeds on all 3 of the Ellis lifeguarding audits, which is a great achievement for an aquatic facility. And we will strive to achieve this again in 2026. Also, we have put an emphasis on recruitment and retention of beach staff. The goal is to provide quality experience for new and returning guests. For Fort Hill, we are proposing to hold fees stable to maintain affordability. There will be no increase in membership fees. The budget focuses on maintaining the membership base while managing increased participation in fitness, group exercise, and track use. In 2026, we will be celebrating the 10-year anniversary of this facility. And as the facility is getting older, the team is focused on maintaining its overall excellence. For programs, the focus is continue to maintain program participation. Some program fees are proposed to increase. Fee increases are not applied across the board. They are determined on a program-by-program basis. Every year, the team looks at the cost for each program and evaluates how to cover those costs while maintaining affordability and quality. It is a balance. And in this budget, some examples of the increases in programs include gymnastics, day camps, and preschool, as well as other activities where the district is experiencing increased costs. In addition, as we look ahead to 2026, the district will continue to evaluate program offerings to reflect an increasingly diverse community. For golf operations, the focus is on continuing to manage the high demand while providing excellent value and service, in addition to prioritizing discounted rates for residents and updates to the Brooks Advantage program. We are also proposing fee increases for select green fees, range fees, private lessons, and tournament fees, with no changes to fees in junior golfers or programs that are popular like family golf. God bless you. Next, let's take a look back and discuss the roadmap for the future. Since 2016, the district has spent $127 million on capital improvements, investing back into the district's system of assets. Over the next 10 years, we will be looking to fund about $97 million in projects. Those are laid out in the 10-year capital plan, which mainly focuses on taking care of what we have. The dedicated source of funding for capital projects is a piece of the property tax levy and is budgeted to fund about 84% in projects for 2026. The district also seeks and receives grants to support and fund projects, as well as seeking opportunities to partner on projects such as shared use agreements with the Naperville school districts. As we look at capital investment in the 2026 budget, there is much focus on maintaining existing parks and facilities, such as renovating the Commissioner Park, multipurpose fields, and sports lighting, and also looking at opportunities for continuous improvement. For example, the Sportsman's Park permeable paver parking lot. So now I'm going to turn it over to Eric, who will discuss some of the capital projects in the 2026 budget.
Good evening. So with respect to 2026 capital projects, the Naperville Park District conducted an extensive review and outreach to the community by determining and formulating a list of improvements planned for implementation next year. For example, looking back to February this year, we started reviewing with the Parks and Recreation Committee the capital improvements, the 10-year plan, as well as proposed improvements for 2026. This summer, we conducted an extensive community outreach, a virtual public open house where we gathered input from residents on various improvements planned for 2026. And that was through the development with staff in collaboration and with the board as well of what the proposed capital project list is for 2026. And in that list, staff identified over 160 capital improvement projects, other types of purchases and allowances and initiatives to be completed, the repair and replacement of all types of recreational amenities, new services, and other types of facilities for the Naperville Park District. So when we look at that list above, these are some of our top priority capital improvements planned for next year. As we know, playgrounds need to be renovated to keep up with building code and ADA standards. We know playgrounds are a safe place for children, and we want to make sure we renovate them when we need to. And then last but not least is the Ron Horry Community Garden Plots permeable paver parking lot installation and site improvement projects. And there's quite a few improvements there. It's not only the permeable paver parking lot, which is important for filtering and cleaning water, but there's 25 raised planting beds as part of the project, drainage improvements, as well as lighting along West Street for patrons who not only use community garden plots, but Knock Park and the related amenities. We are very fortunate and grateful for the tremendous funding support from the Illinois EPA and the Green Infrastructures Grant Opportunities Program in the amount of $785,000, DuPage County Stormwater Committee in the amount of $60,000 that's supporting this project. So overall, the proposed 2026 capital budget addresses the needs of residents and the growing Naperville community.
And as we look ahead to next year, again, the district-wide goals that we've built into the budget and that we look to accomplish, engaging that community through the informational initiative related to the potential referendum, as mentioned before, the strategic plan that we are working to develop those goals, and we'll have those goals by the end of this year. Achieving both CAPRA reaccreditation and ILEAP reaccreditation. I mentioned before strengthening the workforce with our recruitment and retention strategies. And just a quick comment on that. That is something that between our various departments, our marketing team, human resources team, we've done a lot of work as a district over the last few years on the recruitment and retention, and we've actually presented on this topic to a number of at conferences and to different agencies. So just a lot of work that's gone into that, and we want to make sure that we continue to keep that top of mind and make sure that we are continually improving that program. As part of that, also looking to conduct an employee engagement survey to hear from our employees, and that will help with shaping some of our future initiatives. The computerized maintenance management system, a lot of work has gone into building the system this year with our departments, and then next year will be that full implementation across all the different departments that will use that management system. The implementation of the recommendations from the indoor recreation space needs assessment. We're working through that public engagement right now as far as potential new indoor recreation space, but also our existing spaces and looking at ways that we can change and operate those spaces, such as the challenges that are associated with the Alfred Rubin Riverwalk Community Center and how we can further program that building. And then celebrating this facility's 10-year anniversary. It's hard to believe that it was 10 years ago in 2016 that this facility opened. Certainly has been a tremendous addition to the community and is well used. And so we look forward to celebrating with residents next year its 10-year anniversary. So in conclusion, the proposed budget for 2026, it was developed with the same principles that have really built the positive financial position of the district. It supports maintaining that highest bond rating possible, the AAA bond rating that we have as an organization. and allows the board and staff the ability to deliver wide-ranging services really at a great value to residents. Continues taking care of what we have and who we have throughout the system, and it maintains the affordability and the quality of our programs and services as we continue to see escalating costs, operating costs associated with equipment, supplies, and in a number of areas. And with that, we'll turn it over to the board for any questions you might have.
No questions? Well, thank you. I know how much work goes into this budget every year, and I genuinely thank all of you and your staff for the time and effort. And also, I'm always struck by how easily digestible this presentation is. So thank you to all of you for that. Okay, thank you. All right. We will now move on to the resolution to establish estimate of funds to be raised by taxation for the 2025 levy.
Move to approve Resolution 25-11, establishing estimate of funds to be raised by taxation for the 2025 levy year.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Anzier?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Balkrishna?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risbald?
Yes.
President Ruffing?
Yes. All right, and now moving on to the treasurer's report.
Move to approve the September 2025 Treasurer's Report.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Anzier?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Balkrishna?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risbald?
Yes.
President Ruffing?
Yes. And now, Marissa, will you please read the consent agenda for us?
Item 8.1, approve October 2025 disbursements in the amount of $2,030,560.84. 8.2, approve October 2025 disbursements made through the Bank of America Purchasing Card Program in the amount of $291,659.24. 8.3, approve October 2025 FinTech disbursements in the amount of $5,122.72. 8.4, approve October 2025 customer refunds in the amount of $1,308.28. 8.5, approve October 23rd, 2025 regular meeting minutes. 8.6, approve October 23rd, 2025 executive session closed meeting minutes. Number 8.7, approve the purchase of two 2025 John Deere Z994 60-inch Z-Track zero-turn mowers in the amount of $18,734.04 each from HAHW LLC for a total expenditure of $37,468.08 through the district's membership in the Sourcewell Purchasing Network. 8.8, move to ratify staff's action to terminate the contract with Total Pro Construction, Inc. in the amount of $43,627 for the 2025 door and hardware replacements project due to a breach of contract. 8.9, approve and exercise the renewal option in the computerized maintenance management system software contract for the calendar year 2026 with OpenGov, Inc. in the amount of $48,499.10. 8.10, approve the designations of Brad Wilson as delegate, Leslie Ruffing as first alternate, and Katie Seppi as second alternate for the 2026 Illinois Association of Park Districts annual business meeting. 8.11, approve ordinance 1082, authorizing the agreement for land cash contribution pursuant to City of Naperville Code Section 7-3-5, 12.7. 8.12, approve ordinance 1080, authorizing execution of an intergovernmental cooperation agreement between the Board of Education of Naperville Community School District Number 203, DuPage and Will Counties, and the Board of Park Commissioners in the Naperville Park District, DuPage and Will Counties, Illinois. 8.13, approve resolution 25-09, notice of the schedule of regular meetings of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners for the 2026 calendar year.
Thank you. Should any items be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately? Seeing none.
Move to accept consent agenda items 8.1 through 8.13.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Anzier?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Balkrishna?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risbald?
Yes.
President Ruffing?
Yes.
Move to approve consent agenda items 8.1 through 8.13.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, no unfinished business, so we will move on to new business, starting with the independent contractor agreements for program instruction over $30,000.
Good evening. Every year we have independent contractors who provide program instruction for the district. Occasionally these contractors have higher participation levels, which could generate payments that exceed $30,000, requiring board approval. In December, I will be bringing 5 of these agreements to you for consideration. These agreements include All-Star All-Star Sports and Kids First for youth sports instruction, Illinois Shotokan Karate Club for martial arts instruction, Orange Crush Lacrosse Club for lacrosse, and Naperville Aquatics for indoor swim lesson instruction. Any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Request for proposal, non-alcoholic beverages.
Okay. As you may recall, in the fall of last year, the board approved an extension of the non-alcoholic beverage sales agreement with the Bottling Group LLC, better known as Pepsi. The current vendor services the 2 district golf courses, the Centennial Grill, the paddleboat quarry rental operations, and several vending machines located in our parks and facilities. This extension is set to expire at the end of this year. As a result, staff have issued a request for proposals from interested vendors. 3 vendors have received the proposal thus far, and the deadline for submission is November 28th. After the deadline, staff will be evaluating each submission individually based on a set of criteria, and a recommendation will be brought to the board for final approval at the December board meeting. Any questions?
Thank you. And then request for proposal, soccer referee services.
Okay, one more. Over the past 3 years, the district has used the referee assigning services provided by official finders for the youth and adult soccer program. Official finders have hired, trained, and scheduled referees for approximately 90 games per week during the fall and spring soccer season for the district. As the year is coming to a close, the district's agreement with official finders is set to expire. Back in 2019, the district issued a request for proposal, and after reviewing the proposals, it was determined official finders could best meet the needs of the district, as our program was the largest in the area. Since that time, the program has continued to grow, and the demands for officials has only increased. To add to these demands, the nation overall faces a shortage of officials, making the challenges even greater. At this time, we are not aware of any other provider in the area that can meet our growing needs. We have consulted with official finders in their continued interest in providing referee services for the district soccer program. They have expressed interest, and thus far, their recruiting efforts for referees have been successful, and we do believe that they will be able to continue to meet our needs. If at any point the referee shortage would impact our program, we would look to make adjustments at the number of referees needed at each age level. Official Finders is proposing a 5% fee increase. I plan to bring to the board for approval in December a recommendation to enter into another agreement with Official Finders for a term of 1 year with an option to renew for 2 additional 1-year terms. Any questions?
All right. Any questions? I don't think so. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk through that.
Thanks.
All right, our next regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners is scheduled for December 11th, 2025 at 7 p.m. right here at Fort Hill, and we will now move to executive session.
Move to adjourn to executive session to discuss land acquisition per Section 2C5, setting of the price for sale or lease of property per Section 2C6, semi-annual review of executive session minutes per Section 2C21, and the performance of specific personnel per Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Antier?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Balkrishna?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risbald?
Yes.
President Ruffing?
Yes. Thank you.